I'm talking about the hypotenuse, and I said the hypotenuse is the side away from the right angle. The point I was trying to make, no matter how they turn it, so they could do that, it could give you a triangle that looks like that, and I could still go A, B, C. But this side is still the hypotenuse. Because the hypotenuse is the side that is away from the right angle. Here's the right angle, the side on the other side of the right angle is going to be my hypotenuse. Okay. So they could give me two triangles, as I said. And they put a line down here. And in this case, I'm going to end up having two hypotenuses because here's triangle 1, here's triangle 2. So this is the hypotenuse for this triangle, and here's the hypotenuse for this triangle. So I have to be able to navigate through the problems to say, okay, so where is the hypotenuse? What side it is that I am trying to find. So now I have the whole principle of the hypotenuse and then my other two sides. Hypotenuse, my other two sides. Hypotenuse, my other two sides. Okay, so let's look at the rule. The rule says that a hypotenuse square, is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. That's what I have to remember. The hypotenuse square is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. So let's use an example. So I'm going to take this piece off here and leave this into one triangle. And for now, let me take off these two triangles. And so I'm going to work with one triangle. Right, but remember, the hypotenuse square is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. So, here's triangle A, B, C. And they gave me BC, and always remember that a line has two letters. BC is 14 centimeters, and AB is 12 centimeters. And they asked me to find AC. Find AC. Now AC is the
hypotenuse.
AC is the hypotenuse. So for this one, I do not know what the hypotenuse is. I know what the other two sides are. So I take AC squared, which is what my formula says here, the hypotenuse square. So AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. So those are the sides.
Okay.
This side is AC. This side is AB. This side is BC. So AC squared, which is the hypotenuse square, is equal to the sum. Sum says add. Sum means add. The sum of the square of the other two sides. So AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. Now, do I know AC? Do I know AC?
No.
No. So I write AC squared. Markers are the best ones. AC squared is equal to, do I know AB?
Yes, ma'am.
What is AB?
12.
12 is equal to 12 square plus
14.
BC square is 14 square. Okay, so I continue my problem. AC squared is equal to, What is 12 square?
144.
144 plus what is 14 square?
196.
196. Now it's the sum. So let's go. AC square is equal to, then I add 144 to 196. What do I get?
300.
What do I get? You have
340.
calculators. 340. So AC square is equal to 340. In order for me to get AC, I am now going to have to find the square root of 340. Let's go to the calculator. So AC equals 18.439. And I could round that off to AC equals
18.44.
18.4 or 18.44, depending on how many decimal places they ask me to round it. They could ask me to round it to 1 decimal place, or they could ask me to round 2 decimal places. Okay, that's example, and I need to give you example number 2. So that's the example when they gave me the 2 sides and asked me to find the hypotenuse. They could do otherwise. They could give me the hypotenuse, give me one side, and then ask me to find the other side. So let's do another example. So this is example 2 here. Let's get that drawing a little bit better. And I'm gonna call this P, Q, R. And I'm gonna tell you that PR is 26 cm and QR is 12, let's change that, 13 cm. Yeah, that's coming up with some figures from my brain. And they asked me here to find PQ. So this time I'm trying to find PQ. I'm using the same formula. The hypotenuse square equals the sum of the square of the other 2 sides. In this case, what is the hypotenuse?
26.
What is the hypotenuse? PR. Thank you. The hypotenuse is PR. Always remember, I'm going with the letters first before I get down to the next step when we talk about numbers. PR is the hypotenuse. My first aim is to find, sorry, what is the hypotenuse? PR. PR squared is equal to PQ squared. PQ squared plus QR squared. I'm following the formula. The hypotenuse square is equal to the sum of the square of the other 2 sides. So what is PR? You know what is PR?
26.
26. So 26 squared is equal to what is PQ?
We don't know.
I don't know. What is QR?
13
13.
squared.
So now I have 26 squared is equal to PQ squared plus 13 squared. Somebody get 26 squared for me?
676.
So 676 is equal to PQ squared, which I do not know yet, plus 13 squared,
169.
169. And I'm gonna follow simple equation principle. Simple equation say I am going to bring this number here over. Because I'm trying to find this. Numbers on one side, letters on the other side. So I have to bring 169 over. And if you notice, I circle the sign that is in front of it. What sign is in front of it?
Plus.
A plus. A positive sign is in front of it. So when it comes over, it is going to become a
Negative.
negative sign. So 676 minus 169 is equal to PQ squared. I'm simply following that simple equation principal. Okay, so what is 676 minus 169?
507.
500 507 is equal to PQ square. But I do not want PQ square. What do I want? PQ. So what do I have to do?
Find the square root.
Find the square root. So now I go to the square root of 507 is going to give me PQ. And what's the square root of 507?
22.516.
Brilliant. So nice, some bright people. 22.516 equals PQ. And I could round it off to 2 decimal places. What would I get?
22.52.
22.52. So I could round it off and get PQ. Let's put it up here. PQ equals 22.52. And that's rounded to 2 decimal places. So they ask you sometimes round this to 2, round this to 1, or round this to a whole number. So we also have to carry over the principle of rounding into this whole topic that we're doing here. We have to carry the principle of square, and we have to carry the principle of square root. We have to know how to find square, we have to know how to find square root. We also have to carry the principle of simple equation. Okay, so let me go through this just as a final wrap up with this topic. We have one example where they gave me the 2 sides and they asked me to find the hypotenuse. And somebody was saying, in this case, remember, when you get both sides, you're asked to find the hypotenuse, you're always going to add. Because it is AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. So remember, we're going to add and then find the square root. So in this case, that's what we did. 12 squared plus 14 squared, we add those two, we got 340. Find the square root of 340, and we had AC. In this case, they gave me the hypotenuse, and then they gave me one side. And in this case, we have to do what? Subtract. In this case, we have to subtract because we have the hypotenuse. We have the first number. We have the hypotenuse. So all I'm simply going to do is to find the square of this and subtract it from. So we found 26 square, and then we found 13 square. We subtract 13 square from 26 square, and that what is left would have been the square root of PQ. And so we simply find what is the square root of PQ, and we got it. You did that? 26 square, then minus 13 square, and what we get is the square root of PQ, and we simply find the square root, which in this case gave us 22.